Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be talking about my way too early season predictions not season predictions, god damn it, season preview of the San Antonio Spurs. I want to hear your thoughts down below right now. Like and subscribe for content covering every single team, over 150 videos a month, and just every facet of the NBA. But second, I want to hear those comments down below. What do you expect from the Spurs this year? Record, everything. Let's talk about it. And let's talk about who's left. So obviously you guys know Dejounte Murray was traded, and they waived Danilo Gallinari, who was acquired in the trade. They also, Robert Woodard became a free agent. Joe Wieskamp became a free agent. Lonnie Walker became a free agent. DJ Stewart became a free agent. Devontae became a free agent. And they claimed off of waivers, which I thought was such an underrated signing or claim of a waiver. Isaiah Roby, he's going to play a big part on this team. Blake Wesley, they drafted. Malachi Branham, they drafted. And Jeremy Sohan, the quintessential definition of a 1-5 defender. And they also signed on a two-way contract Dom Barlow, who is, so far the most successful player in overtime elite history. And so let's talk about this team and what it could look like. So look at this. Right now, Tre Jones is currently looking like he'll be the starting point guard for the San Antonio Spurs. If you guys do not know, Tre Jones is the younger brother. He went to Duke, and he was the younger brother of Tyus Jones. And last year was the most playing time he got. And he appeared in about 17 minutes a night in 69 games, scoring about 6 points, 3.5 assists, 2.5 rebounds, and about a little over half a steal. If you do those numbers times 2, basically that's like 12 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1.2 steals a game per 32 minutes. If you round it up to 36, it's probably a little bit better, but those numbers are skewed. So he seems like a decent point guard who doesn't really have a jump shot, as he is a career 23% three-point shooter, but I have faith. I know a lot of San Antonio faithful have a lot of faith in him. So he's probably the starting point guard, with Blake Wesley being the backup point guard. And also, I could see them trying Josh Primo at point guard, but I think Josh Richardson is going to start with Josh Primo being the primary backup shooting guard and arguably the sixth man, with Devin Vassell being the starting small forward, and either having Romeo Langford or Doug McDermott or Keita Bates-Diop on there. And if we want to talk about the roster real quick, this is what the roster looks like. Dom Barlow, Keita Bates-Diop, Malachi Branham, Zach Collins, Keldon Johnson, Tre Jones, Romeo Langford, Doug McDermott, Jakob Poeltl, Josh Primo, Josh Richardson, Isaiah Roby, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, and Blake Wesley. So yeah, there is a lot of guards, but for me, what I see is Malachi Branham is going to probably play more of the wing. So I see Malachi Branham backing up Devin Vassell with I don't know if so. I think Dom Barlow is more of a power forward center, and I think they're going to run Keldon Johnson still at power forward, but they could run Isaiah Roby at power forward with Roby and Poeltl as the front court, and then put, Keldon Johnson at small forward, run Devin Vassell at shooting guard, Tre Jones at point. Then you have Josh Richardson as the backup small forward, and Doug McDermott as the backup power forward. Shooting guard would be Josh Primo as the backup shooting guard. Point guard backup would be Blake Wesley, with Jeremy Sohan probably playing, backup power forward and some backup small forward, and Malachi Branham switching between shooting guard and small forward, Josh Primo bouncing between point guard and shooting guard, Blake Wesley bouncing between point guard and shooting guard. Tre Jones will stay at shooting guard point guard, solely point guard. I think he's the only one who stays in one position. Same thing with Poeltl. Zach Collins will back up Poeltl. Roby will be their small ball 5 if they ever go small. And I think I wonder how much playing time Doug McDermott. I expect the guy who's going to get the least amount of playing time is Keita. Keita is not going to get that much. I think he's just the bottom of the roster guy, but Poeltl and Collins will be the center rotation with Roby when they go small. I think Keldon Johnson will be the power forward with Doug McDermott and Jeremy Sohan, and Dom Barlow being limited playing time at power forward and center. He's the fourth guy for both power forward and center. I think Jeremy Sohan and Doug McDermott will split reps backing up Keldon Johnson at the 4 at the power forward position. Devin Vassell will start at small forward. I really do believe that, with Malachi Branham and Romeo Langford backing him up. And Josh Richardson, who's supposedly the veteran leader of the locker room, he's going to be the starting shooting guard with Josh Primo, and probably I expect a combination of Romeo Langford and Blake Wesley backing up Josh Primo and Josh Richardson. And then Trey Jones, really, like I said, Josh Primo and Blake Wesley will have to split the duties of backing up, those positions. And right now, like I said, they have, 15 guys on the roster. I mean, they have 14 spots with Don Barlow on a two-way, so probably Joe Weiskamp will probably be brought back. But still, I think it's pretty interesting in the situation that they're in. And the Spurs were a play-in team for the last 2 years. Obviously, we can agree. Probably not going to happen that they're a play-in team this coming year. Nothing against them, nothing against Spurs Nation. But for me, I see this team definitely as a team that more likely than not, they're trying to get Victor Wembanyama, supposedly. And they're also looking at the fact that in 2 years, they're going to have a lot of money when it comes to 2025 free agency, when the salary cap will jump, or 2024, one of those. The salary cap in 2 years is going to jump like crazy. 2024, I believe it will be when it comes into effect. And look, they have a lot of draft picks, and I think they did a good job drafting with the 20th pick, Malachi Branham, who can play shooting guard and small forward. Okay? And for me, I think they have Jeremy Sohan, who can play power forward, small forward, and eventually be a small ball 5. Devin Vassell, shooting guard and small forward. Keldon Johnson, power forward and small forward. And arguably, if you want to go big, you can play shooting guard if you really needed to. Blake Wesley's a point guard, shooting guard. Josh Primo, he can play point guard, shooting guard, or small forward. You have a lot of versatility. And Jakob Poeltl, if he balls out, you could, by the deadline, maybe flip him. And I know Chip England's leaving. He's a guy who's moving on, supposedly they're saying. But I think they have a good coaching staff here. Greg Popovich, I think he's been reinvigorated by the young guys. And that's what the rumor is. Everyone's saying he loves coaching these young guys. And yeah, when I look at this team, let's look at the Western Conference standings for the NBA. And it's interesting to look at to say the very least, due to the fact that last year the Spurs were the 10th seed, 34-48. I personally think the Spurs have a better roster than the Rockets and Thunder. No. Like in the terms of I think the Spurs will have a better record than the Thunder and Rockets, but in terms of talent, they do not have a better team. But I think they're better coached and they have guys who are better. Yeah, I think they're going to win 20-something games. If the Rockets and Thunder won 20 and 24 games last year, the most I see this team is winning 30 games, but I could see them winning 20 games or less. But I have faith because it's a Greg Popovich coach team, and you never count Greg Popovich out ever. And it's wild. It's crazy. And I want to hear your thoughts down below. That's basically it for me today. I love y'all.